and welcome to day one here on Pine Cove, a recent release by Stevie. Now, I say recent release is because we had a bit of a hiatus, as you would probably know, and in that time, Stevie released Pine Cove, which is one of my all-time favorite maps for Farming Sim. Now, why is it one of my favorites? Well, let's backtrack a little bit. Back in FS17, Stevie first released Pine Cove. And at that point in time, Pine Cove was my first ever modded map that I played in the farming sim genre. And I spent a lot of time playing Pine Cove with my good friend Grizzly Bear Sims, which from that point, we also ended up filming Three Dudes Gaming Network and a whole pile of other things. But anyway, nonetheless, that's where I really caught my bug for farming sim, going back for farming sim 17. Now, this is a wonderful new addition. It still holds the flavour of the original Pine Cove with some modern updates and some reorganisation and stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward to playing this map. In fact, I'm looking forward so much at the moment I'm playing a private solo game on it, and I'm also going to play this series as well. So without further ado, let's go and have a bit of a look-see around the farm. We won't look around the whole map at the moment. We'll just go for a quick tour around the farm, and then we can come back and get started. We've got lots of work to do. So let's go and jump in the truck here, and we'll go and have a quick look around. Zoom out a bit. This is the farmhouse here. And if you remember Pine Cove, there was the water at the back and the lake, and there's a boat running around there somewhere. But very picturesque, and there's a nice little area over there where you go over the bridge over the little island over there. Very picturesque, which Stevie's always been known for. All right, let's go down. We'll go to the farm proper. We'll go down to the entrance to the farm, and then we'll come back in from the main road so you can see what the changes are. I mean, you'll see them now as we drive through. But nonetheless, we'll go and have a bit of a look. All right. So this is the main farm entry. We'll just come through here. There we go, Pine Cove Farm. Okay, there's the main road, heading up through there to the township. Now, for those of you that aren't aware, Pine Cove is a rebuild of the Goldcrest Valley map. So Goldcrest Valley map was the original map that came out with FS17, and this is a remake of it. So a lot of the township area itself is the same as what Goldcrest was. Not so much in this case. I'm not so sure. I think Stevie's rebuilt it effectively from the FS17 version. I can't say that 100% because I haven't spoken to him about it. But yeah, so that's where we're at. So that's one of our water sources there, so you can drive down through there and grab some water from the little creek there. But nonetheless, we're not going to worry about that for the moment. So coming up into the farm itself, Stevie's got some new buildings and stuff he's put in. So the silo system is different to what we had, obviously, but that's the main silo system through there. So the dumping point is on the left-hand side coming into the farm, and the fill point is on the right-hand side here. We also have the little workshop there where we can do changes and customization to our vehicles. We have the buy silos here, so we can buy all of our seed, fertilizer, all that sort of stuff there. We have a fuel storage and purchase area here, so we can get our fuel. We have a nice big shed there. Now, previously, I remember there was 2 big sheds at least in this area, and then there was another 2 sheds up top, maybe just the 1 shed. But anyway, so these are the sheds through here. So you can see those there. You still have that distinct layering of the farm. So these sheds up here were always on a higher level, which is fine. So that's still there. So the sheds still have the same look and feel. They're a bit more of a modern take. They've got opening and closing garage or shed doors, and there's our straw and bales area in there. Back to the farmhouse. So I'll continue on through here. And this is where there's been a lot of changes. So a lot of things have changed up through here. Right. So what have we got in here? Now, I think there's actually the 2. What have we got? Let's have a look at the map. We will bring the map up and have a look. So I've got to remember what we got. So we got the piggery on our left, the cows on our right, the sheep and the horses and the chickens. So cows are there. So of course they are, because there's the milking area down there. These are the pigs here on our left-hand side. And directly ahead of us now, you can see the sheep. You can see the brown sheep that are in the paddock there. Now, the shed and the stuff, this has changed a little bit. So now there's a requirement for straw, silage, and grass. This is non-seasons, by the way. We're playing this non-seasons. We're going to play this map as if we would have played it when we started FS17. So there was no seasons back then when this first came out. So I'm going to play it not with seasons, and we're just going to just enjoy the map and just get into some general farming. So yeah, so there's a change in there. The sheep also produce manure as well, so we're going to have that output as well as the wool. So there's all that. The animal pen extension is enabled as it normally is with the stuff from Stevie nowadays, and so the water pipes and all that are going to be activated when they're purchased. We also have a couple of the what are they called again? Greenhouses. So we've got a couple of greenhouses here. I don't know which ones are which. I haven't looked at those yet, but anyway, so we've got some silage clamps there as well. We come over this way. This is the horse stall, the animal that shall no longer be mentioned. I will probably delete that very soon and just make that into a storage area. Anyway, I haven't changed my mind on horses. That name that shall not be mentioned. This is our I think this is a digestate plant, so silage in, digestate out, all that sort of stuff. Another shed, and then we have our chooks over there as well. All right, so that's the basic layout of the farm. Now I will actually go to the map and we'll have a look at the rest of the layout. So we are starting off with 3 fields: field 1, 2, and 3. Now they're in various states of they've been harvested. 2 and 1 have been ploughed, 3 hasn't, and 1 and 3 need lime. Field 2 is ready to basically plant seeds and go. As you can see, previously we had barley there. There's nothing for 1 and 2. In relation to the layout of sell points and all that sort of stuff, that has changed from Pine Cove, the original Pine Cove. We have Freedom Mill here, US Dairy. The Silage Kings BJ was there before. There's no big silage clamps in there anymore. So obviously gives you the flexibility to put your own in. Other than that, all the other stuff is pretty much the same. I think the supermarket is new. I don't recall the supermarket. I haven't been back to the old Pine Cove to have a look at that. Animal supplies is in here now. So there used to be the animal supplies up in this corner and used to have a road that go up over through here, and it was a bit hilly. So that's gone. That means that what used to be a full field here has now been split into 2 fields. With a bit more flexibility. So it used to be quite rocky through here. And the other thing you'll notice when we're going through the top end of the map, where there used to be all the mountainous sort of area that was built in, that's now gone. So we've got, I think most of these fields have actually been extended a little bit, so a little bit bigger than what they were, possibly. And I seem to think that used to be 1 field down there as well. So that used to be 1 field, that used to be 1 field as well. And that's been extended. So I believe that's what's happened. I believe with getting that area back through here, he's just extended all the fields down here. The logging area is all up through here. Wood chip sales, Fenton Mill is all up through there. Lakeside Sawmill up through there. We'll go up and have a look at all those later. It's a lovely view from up here on the waterfall. But yeah, that's it. So without further ado, let's get into some actual farming. We spent far too long talking about it, but let's get into it. So let's go park the truck, and what we'll do is we'll get the lime dealt with on the 2 farms, on the 2 fields that need lime, and then we'll go from there. Now, the premise, I'll look at the equipment we've got as well in a minute. Now, the premise for what I'm going to do in relation to farming as well, we are going to have up to a maximum of 2 hired hands. So 2 hired hands, whether they be running on the normal hired worker or whether I have them on course play, same, but that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have, well, actually, no, it'll be a maximum of 3 if I'm doing harvesting. So only for harvesting, because I've got 3 combine harvesters at the moment, 3 small combine harvesters. So because the fields are quite large, we'll use them in course play with 3 of them on the field at once. So that's what we're going to do with those. Right, let me just go and grab one of the tractors. Yeah, you'll do. All right, And then what we're going to do is everything else will be done manually. So transferring from the combines to the trucks, etc., will all be done manually. But course play, like I said, we'll use a maximum of 2 people or 2 hired hands for course play, generally, except for when we're harvesting a field, in which case, while we've got 3 combines, we'll have 3 course play helpers. Right, is this one I want with lime? No, it's a fertilizer one. Whoops. So these are my spreaders. One for lime, one for fertilizer. Go. And we're going to head off. And I might do this field 3 first. Right. So past the chickens, past that shed that we won't talk about. I do love it's the same as this road. This road basically has the same look and feel as previous. It's just it's like coming home. It really is. Um I was looking over Facebook the other day and catching up with stuff I hadn't looked at in relation to Duckzorly Gaming for quite some time. And I'm gonna put this guy on hide work. Right, where doesn't he want to go? All right. Is that field, isn't it? Let me have a quick look. Needs lime. All right. Let's do this manually then. Yes, I was having a look at Facebook, and then it was with quite surprise I saw that there was a message there from Stevie. Was it back in May? May have been April, May, telling me that he had a link for me for Pine Cove. Unfortunately, because I wasn't checking all that sort of stuff, I didn't see it. So many thanks to our good mate Stevie, because he's a great bloke, and I've got a lot of time for him and his maps and his mods he does. As can be seen by all my other videos, I'm a Stevie fanboy, and I'm unashamedly so. So, no, well done to Stevie, and really looking forward to it. Now, while I'm mentioning Stevie too, by the way, now with Stevie, he produces all of his mods and maps and all that. Doesn't put them on the Mod Hub, and just makes them freely available to Facebook. Now, uh, there's always the pros and cons with that, but basically, he doesn't look to making money from his maps, all that sort of stuff. So he just puts them on Facebook and just shares them with everyone. Now, recently, Stevie's same as most of us, has a family and all that sort of stuff, um, and recently he's put up a post um, for a GoFundMe. He's put up a GoFundMe for trying to get some assistance to purchase a video card for his computer, so as he can ramp up and do stuff for FS22 and all that. I'm assuming, and so I've donated that, and I ask that you possibly consider that as well. I'll put the link in down below in the comments. But certainly, if you used Stevie's mods and his maps over the period of time, then you'll know what quality it's like and how he puts so much work into it. And helping me out with just a couple of bucks from a coffee or something like that would really help him out. So feel free to do so. And if you do, I would greatly appreciate it. But yeah, he's certainly someone that will take that that gift and pay it back to the community tenfold for sure. But yeah, so I won't say any more about that. But yeah, go and give him a hand if you can. All right. Now I don't know why the hired worker wouldn't do this field. To be honest. Anyway, we'll just do a dodgy run. Now I could be running the GPS steering or whatever it is, but it's been that long, I've forgotten how to use it. I never really used it before, so I'm not going to bother. I'm just going to do it manually, and we'll miss some pieces. Now we have turned the weeds off as well because again, the weeds weren't part of FS17 and Pine Cove when we first played it. So we're back to the basics sort of thing, and I hope you understand that. But so there won't be the use of the weeds function, and there won't be seasons, for instance. We're just going to play it very vanilla like as if it was back in FS17. So we're not going to do any terrain work, anything like that. We're just going to play it, the map as it is, and just use the mods and the equipment that's available to us, and enjoy the map for what it is. And things like fertilizer buying and stuff like that is all off. Um, what we will make sure that we have is that um, I think we might have plant growth on fast just so we can get through stuff. I mean, it won't be that we're doing fertilization and ploughing and harvesting all in one episode, um, but it'll certainly mean that we can get things done a lot quicker instead of a lot of spare time in between, as I've left a nice gap. Anyway, so yeah, that's the plan. So anyway, I'll stop speaking about that and we'll just continue on with farming. I don't know if he's going to want to. Let's try. No, he doesn't. He doesn't want to do any line work whatsoever. The lazy bastard. Right. All right. Let's continue through with here. So I hope you're all well, and while you're watching this, you're all health and staying healthy and staying safe. Health. Um, Obviously, the last 12 months or so has been a testing time for everyone. Um, it's actually longer than 12 months now, isn't it? We're coming into 18 months, if not longer. Um, COVID has been a testing time for all of us. Certainly for us here in Sydney, we're currently in a lockdown as we are dealing and battling with the Delta strain. Unfortunately, there are many people that just don't understand the premise of trying to go through a lockdown to minimise the spread. We've been very fortunate in Australia that we haven't had the same instance of COVID that what the rest of the world has, partly because of our isolation and the fact that we locked down our borders, and also partly because of the fact that our government's going to lockdowns and minimise the spread of the infections as best they possibly can. Um, I'm not going to get into a political discussion in any way, shape, or form, but needless to say, it is something that needs to have everyone on board, go through some discomfort in relation to lockdown, all that sort of stuff. There are thousands and thousands of people that have unfortunately lost their lives or lost their family members to COVID. Um, and even though the tinfoil hat brigade still think that it may be a government hoax and it's all misleading, there are far too many people that have died through the world in the last 18 months to not treat it as seriously as it deserves. And but most importantly, I just hope you and your families stay safe and avoid the tinfoil hat brigade as best you can, and also just take heed of what your chief health officers and all the scientists that are saying, and try and stay safe as best you possibly can, and get vaccinated because seemingly the vaccination is it's not going to cure you. It's not going to mean you're never going to get it, but certainly it will hopefully minimize the effects if you do catch it, and it also will help minimize the spread. And again, I'm not getting political, I'm not getting medical basis whatsoever, but that's certainly what we hear from all our medical experts to do. So certainly seems to be working so far. So anyway, but just as long as you all stay safe, that's the most important. All right, so we're about halfway through. Hopefully, we won't have problems with hired hand all the way through. So one of the other things we found with coming back to farming sim was, well, it's still actually quite relaxing to play. Like, even though I sort of stop. Now let's actually rewind a bit. Now, I did say in my Ningham video there was a whole pile of personal things that did cause us to stop. It was a combination of a whole pile of things. I was having problems with OBS dropping out recordings. I was having problems with hardware, all that sort of stuff. I was having problems with real life getting in the way, like as in just really busy. And certainly um, this year was no exception as well. Like a new work position, which again I'm very fortunate to actually have work in this environment. There are a lot of people that haven't got work, haven't got a job after COVID. Um, I was offered a position of higher authority than the company, and I applied for that and got that, thankfully, and that's led to a lot more work. Um, and and as I said in the Nigam video, I just did not have the time nor the energy to even look at playing a game after spending hours on the computer at work. Um, Not really changed too much, but I'm just sort of forcing myself to do it, if for nothing else, just to have a break from work. And I thought, well, I'll try and get back into it and see if anyone wants to continue watching Duckzorly make himself look stupid in a game, and hence why we're back. But um, with all that, um, and farming sim was starting to give me frustrations, and certainly with lack of direction from giants and stuff like that. But um, going back into it, it is still a relaxing game to play, and it's something I'm enjoying in that regard. And the fact that like sitting here and doing farming sim is quite relaxing. It's not stressful. You don't have to really think too much about it. Just go through the motions and just spend some time doing it. Just relax, and that is one of the benefits I've certainly found over the time with FS17 to FS19. And I certainly hope that FS22 gives the same satisfaction. Now, I haven't looked at precision farming. I will have a look at that in one of my private games, solo games at some stage soon, just to see how that all works. Um, but and I haven't discussed about FS22 at all yet, which I will do at some point soon. But um, I am I am pleasantly surprised at what's been included with FS22 so far. I mean, seemingly a lot of the things that I bitched and complained about so much in relation about FS19 seems to have been included. We have new crops. Seasons has actually been implemented into the game. Um, and I'm assuming that's because it's been bought out by giants to be included into the game. I hope they haven't just gone and made their own version of it um, based upon what I can't remember the modders that created seasons were, but anyway, on their hard work and really um, many thanks and congratulations to the team that brought us seasons, because that was and has been probably the most game changing mod that I've seen in the FS series so far, and I enjoy playing it. Like I said, the only reason we're not playing it on this map is because of the fact that we want to sort of go back to basics and enjoy this map back as if we did on FS17. Well, certainly that's my perspective. Um, but otherwise, mostly in most of my games I play exclusively with seasons activated, because it does change the game. Like the way you deal with your animals and your crops and everything is different, and it's very enjoyable. So um, it's good to see that's going into the game. Been a few other things as well. I'm still sort of catching up on it because I really had no interest in catching up with it when they first announced it. Um, I wasn't entirely under a rock. I did see the announcement. I've seen the CGI trailer and stuff like that, but as we discovered, and I said for FS19, you can't take anything from the CGI because they may show a particular John Deere tractor in there, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee it's going to be in the game or anything else like that. So I'm not taking anything for granted from the CGI. The important part to take out of anything that Giants showcase from here on in for FS22 is purely the gameplay aspect, and we have seen some gameplay stuff. Again, I haven't spent a lot of time looking at it, but I will go and revisit that and have a bit of a look. But yeah, it does overall look as though it will be quite a good version, and hopefully restore the faith of some that lost faith with Giants with FS19. Now, look, I mean, a lot of people still play FS19. I'm not so sure that so many people didn't play. I know a couple of people that said they tried FS19. They said they'd never come back. Quite vocal people in the community. I've since seen them playing FS19. So maybe time has changed their opinion or what, I don't know. But certainly when FS19 was first released, it was a pile of poo. The landscaping function, it was just released too early, and we've gone over that so many times. I'm not going to sit here and go through it again. Hopefully the FS22 release won't be as bad as the FS19 release. Hopefully things like steering wheels and all that will work out of the box. There's no reason why they shouldn't, because it's following on from the previous version. Coding for running a steering wheel should be basically exactly the same as what it was for FS19, FS17. There's not been too many brand new steering wheels come onto the market. But yeah, so hopefully we'll get to see all that, and it won't be as bad as a release as FS19. The other thing is, perhaps it won't be because Giants now publishing under their own banner. Then they're not going through Focus, and I believe Focus was a big inherent part of their problem with the FS19 release. I strongly believe, I don't have any proof, but I strongly believe the game was released purely from the perspective of Focus saying game's got to go out. Even if Giants were sort of saying, well, no, it's not ready, the publisher was nigh on demanding that it go out, sort of thing. And that's the reason why it came out in the state it was. But who knows? Who knows? Anyway, so we finished liming that field now. I'm going to head over here and see if I can get this hired worker to work on this field. I think this field over here has actually been ploughed. The other one hasn't. Watch out for some traffic. We'll get across there. And hopefully this guy will be happy to go off and lay some lime down without any problems whatsoever. Let's see. There we go. Right. So we can leave you off and do your merry thing. Right. Now, let's actually, while we're taking the break, they're doing that. Let's actually have a look at the equipment we've got in the garage that we're going to be using for this game at the moment. So I have my trusty Toyota Ute. So I'm using that. Obviously, I have a Transpace 8000 for juggling around alfalfa and grass and stuff like that for our animals. We have a Cotty multi-tank. So this is for milk, water, whatever else. As you can see there, it'll take virtually all the fluids. We have our personalised T600 day cab Kenworth. So that's the Duckzorly Gaming Kenworth. We have our Duckzorly Lusty chassis trailers. So we have them currently in a 3-trailer configuration. We have a Voltra T194. So she's a, actually, what's that one? 210 horsepower tractor. We have the Fendt 1050 and the Fendt 939 Vario. So with 517 horsepower and 396 horsepower respectively. We have 3 Fendt 6275L combine harvesters with associated headers. We've only got standard headers at the moment. I don't think I've got any corn headers. I don't think I bought them, to be honest. But I'm not planning on sowing corn yet. We have a Rubicon 9000, which came default with the opening part of the game. So did one of the Fendt tractors, by the way. We have a Manitow telehandler. We have a Kinsey grain cart. So we've just got the small Kinsey. That's the 30,000 grain cart. There's our free flow headers, 25 footers, 3 of those. We have a Bedner Swifter plough. It's a convert by Stevie. We have a Lemken Solitaire seeder there. We have the 2 Taurus Robust spreaders. That's what we were using before for our lime, and also it's going to be used for solid fertilizer. And we have our Krone Easy Cut Special, our mowing trailer, and also a Swadro 2000 windrower. And we have a rapid 8400 watt or 8400 W by Stevie. That's a high capacity. I think we've got 90,000 litres for collecting all of our grass and stuff. We have some CIMC flat deck trailers. Flat deck trailers with auto load. A telly shovel and a pallet connection for our telehandler, some weights, and then there's all the buildings that are in on the map. And there's the horses, so they will go very, very soon, I can assure you. All the sheds, all that sort of stuff. So with Stevie's maps, he makes them so they are modular in the fact that if you don't want to have stuff there that he's got there, you can actually remove it. So if I wanted to, for instance, remove the old farm sales, I could remove that, or I could remove them in your store, or whatever else. So it gives you all that flexibility, and that's wonderful. So anyway, that's the equipment we're running. Now, what's next? Let's have a look at the map, see what we can do next. That's nice and neat, isn't it, guys? Right, so field 3, it doesn't need ploughing, so we can go over there and start seeding that. We can do the same with field 2, and then field 1, we'll be able to seed as well. So we just need to get in and do some seeding. We've only got the one seeder, so that's going to be pretty busy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take on our 1050, our biggest tractor, and get him to go and do some seeding. And that will basically be the end of this first episode, though, because we have spent all of our time doing our lime, our introduction, that we've just purely run out of time. So I'm going to get this guy started, and then we'll come back to the next video and continue on. But yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you're going to stick with us and enjoy the series. I will keep it as busy and as entertaining as I possibly can. Certainly one of the advantages of doing it without seasons and that sort of stuff is it'll be just constant gameplay. So there'll always be something to do. Like, for instance, I need to feed the sheep, so I don't have any sheep die, that sort of stuff. So there'll be plenty of stuff to get done, and I hope you can come back and join us in doing that sometime very, very soon. So don't forget, we are an FS19 partner. So if you are looking at ordering FS22, or if you are looking at getting any of the DLCs for FS19, then please consider using the links that are down below, and also on our Discord to give the channel a little bit of help. And it also provides possibility in the future that Giants may well look at giving us some early access to things like DLCs and stuff like that. So please consider that as I get our hired hand off and working in here. And yeah, so please consider doing that. Helps the channel out, obviously, with giving us a little bit of coin as well, and basically get you the game as well. The other thing we're running as well, while I noticed that, is we are running the real dirt, as you can see. So the tyres and all that are picking up the lime and covering. So that's fantastic. I don't know why I've not used that before. I really don't. But another touch of realism. So it's fantastic. Anyway, so apart from all that, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope you enjoy and continue to watch us as we go along. We're just shy of 1,500 subscribers to YouTube now, which is fantastic, and I appreciate each and every one of you. And I certainly appreciate those that have stuck by during that period of time where we haven't been on the channel at all. It is greatly appreciated, and if I can do anything for you, then let me know. But apart from that, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and make sure that, above all else, you stay tuned to Duckzorly Gaming. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you again very, very soon back here at Pine Cove Farms. See you later. Bye.